on the podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. It's Grant's Rants Small Talk.
Season 9 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiered on February 12th, 2019. 6 housewives from the previous season returned to the canvas. Denise Richards began her freshman season, and original cast member Camille Grammer-Meyer returned as a friend of the housewives, despite practically being the only cast member driving story. Original housewife Lisa Vanderpump remained a full-time cast member, despite refusing to honor her contract and show up for filming. After a rocky season with no direction, some viewers feel the show is in need of a reset. Should the show be canceled, or does it need to be saved at all? We're here to debate that and more on the special Grant's Rants panel. She's a matchmaker behind MTV's Are You the One, and she's here to talk about Beverly Hills. Please welcome Alessandra Conti.
Hey, Grant. Thanks for having me.
So good to have you back. I can't wait to talk with you because we're going to spar.
Oh my gosh, we're going to spar.
Love it. She's studied The Real Housewives so closely, she's become one. Please welcome the podcast host of The Real Housewife of the West Side, Jess Zadeh.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it. You were like my first ask on this panel because we had talked about it. So here we are. Let's get this done. He's a housewife encyclopedia and a meme game king. Please welcome Christian Snow back to the Rants.
That is, number one, the nicest thing that anyone's ever said to me. Hi, girls. Hi, Grant. Thanks for having me back.
Yes.
Excited to be here.
This is an all-star panel, just going to say. And, listeners know how much I dislike The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this season. But don't worry, it's not going to be hate fest because each one of us comes with a unique place on the spectrum, if you will, of how we feel about this show. I came up with the idea because back in the day when the soaps, there was always the covers of the magazines, Soaps in Depth, Soap Our Weekly. It would say,
Digest.
The plan to save days. Days of our lives, always on the brink of cancellation.
On the brink.
Yeah. So that's where this comes from. I mean, this is like my dramatic version of the plan to save RHOBH. In my opinion, a horrible, unwatchable season should be canceled.
Oh my God.
We know it well.
Grant, this is so...
I'm coming at you straight.
Wow. Raise your hand if you've ever felt personally.
2 minutes ago, he said, we're going to be nice.
I know. We just dive right in.
Nope. So let's go through our season impressions. Now, we're all sitting here. It's the night after the third part of the reunion, to give you some context for those listening. So we've seen the full 9th season in its entirety. So I'm going to get into my impressions, but we know how I feel. So let's go around the table first. Jess, your initial impressions here of season 9. I mean, where do we begin?
Rough. You know what okay, I'm going to make this analogy. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but the season before Bethany came back of New York, it was really, really rough. I honestly was almost out. And that's a little bit how I feel about this season. And I recently, for my own show, I was doing some deep research, and I would watch a couple episodes of season 1 of Beverly Hills, and I was like, what happened?
That's why I'm tough on the show, because it was once a great show, and
yes.
It's just been allowed to just lose all control. I don't know what's happening. We're going to get into all of it, but I feel the same way. I went back and watched even season 2 was great.
Season 2 is amazing. Season 5.
I love watching the old seasons.
The old seasons are so good.
I feel
Yes,
Yes.
Hulu.
I feel bad complaining about any of them. When I was on Afterwards for years talking about this show, I mean, what we thought were problems then. I mean, if we only knew.
Seriously,
even Carlton.
seriously.
Yeah.
Remember Carlton?
I would take Carlton in a
I was
second.
like, she should have been. I needed her around too.
And
I
Jose?
think, you know?
I didn't like either of them.
Yois.
They were the least of the show's problems as we stand today. Christian,
Seriously.
what are your impressions now? What do you think?
Look, I'm a little torn. I understand why, longtime viewers can watch this season and be like, I was so bored. But I come from a place of being like, I was waiting so long for what happened this season to finally happen that I loved it. I had a lot of fun. Lisa Vanderpump is out, and it's been amazing watching her just be exposed for everything she is. For me, it's been what I've been waiting for,
Right.
So I've been able to enjoy it, and then in addition to, there have been a lot of fun moments. The girls have had a lot of fun drunken times. I don't know. For me, I understand why people didn't like it. For me, I'm leaving satisfied.
Okay.
For me, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it brings me so much joy. So it's hard for me to, there were moments where I wasn't, like, for me, I always say, if a show can captivate my attention and I'm not looking at my phone during the show,
100%.
That's a good show for me. And then I'm good. For this season, I'm not going to lie. There were moments I was grabbing my phone. But at
Don't
the
lie,
same
you were
time,
doing laundry.
I was like, exactly. But I will say the fashion was on point. The faces, I mean, that filler, that Botox, their skin they've never looked better, but it did feel for me, and I love LVP. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm an LVP stan. Like, I adore LVP. Yes. Is she manipulative? Absolutely. But do I adore her? Oh my God, yes. So for me, it was I was shook, and then I was a little bit bored. But I still it still has brought me so much joy. So, like, generally it's fine. But Grant, I get it. I get where you're coming from. Yeah. I get it.
We're so respectful here because we all have our viewpoints. I mean, the world and the United States government should take note of this.
Exactly. We're like, honestly, like the United Nations. Exactly. Just bringing everyone
together.
We're
doing the next Dem debate, by the way.
Oh my God. We should be.
I'm like way far left on like how I feel about this because I'm just like, fire them all, get rid of everybody. So like, we're going to get there. But I mean, I hear all of your opinions. I can see shades of everything. For me, I'm really looking at this. I thought it was very disjointed. I thought there were some desperate moments where they tried to resurrect the bunny with Rinna and Kim. I mean, that was really pushing.
That's true.
The Brandy moment was hit or miss. I mean, it was like barely happened. The Anderson Cooper appearance on the FaceTime was a gimmick.
Could someone explain that to me? Or did anyone get it?
Andy and Anderson are like besties.
No, I get that.
But we'd all already seen that. I would have rather the intro to the reunion been like the girls have like audio of the girls, like give me some like hot mic action. They'd be like, hey, have you seen her? Do you know if this is here yet?
Even
like
to see arrivals.
Let me see them rolling
didn't
up.
Andy post that like when it was actually being recorded?
Yes.
So that's why I was like, why are we seeing
We'd already seen all the girls in their full glam that day.
Yeah.
So I think that they could have gone
I think they should have posted
way more exciting direction.
The paparazzi picture of Lisa Vanderpump doing whatever she was doing that day. She was like at Pavilions or something shopping. Like they should have posted that instead of that.
Like the date and the time, and like the girls rolling up at like 6 a.m. like looking a mess.
You guys, you should be the producers because that honestly,
somebody needs to be.
The shade.
That's my next point. Like Camille, not a full-time cast member, of course, but she was asked to step up. I mean, it's so disjointed.
Oh my God.
Like, why?
Oh my God.
You mean you can't get the other ladies? One of them was allegedly getting paid $1 million to show up and act and do a show?
Camille brought it so hard.
So hard.
You
And
guys.
Normally a friend of a housewife, they're on a per episode rate because they're not guaranteed. And was there there were not many episodes, if any, without
I heard
her.
that somewhere too, that if you're a friend of, didn't Luann say this? That if you're a friend of,
you get an episode rate.
Right, which means that you end up making more, don't you, than just a salary?
It depends on how they want to play with you.
Good point.
Camille deserves like an Emmy. No,
Camille deserves an Emmy.
She deserves an Emmy and a diamond next year.
And
I'm
a raise.
sorry, but
Absolutely. A raise, a diamond, and an Emmy.
What would they have talked about at the reunion?
Nothing.
And if I were Camille, I'd be like, bravo, you know what? You if you don't give me a diamond this year because you made me come in here. I stirred up everything.
She took the dress off. She bore her soul.
And then in the reunion, it was all three parts were or second and third were all the girls ganging up on her.
Yeah.
And she
I
still
have never seen a friend of get so much airtime on a reunion.
Seriously,
Can I say, though, why I think she got so much airtime and why I think she was so involved. She is literally the only woman who remotely was not against Lisa Vanderpump on the cast. So immediately, the only thing they can do is be like, how could you be on her side when we showed up for you? We have been there for you. We're cool with you. You're cool to our face. And then you, like, I get why people are like, oh, well, why is she friend of? And she was so involved. But it's like, you know, she kind of had to be involved because what else were they going to talk about?
Right,
You know, they were all in unison. You know?
Exactly.
And that's not their
stepped
fault.
away.
It's not their fault that they're
Camille
in
had to
unison,
step in,
you know?
and she did.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she came with some instructions of things
Oh,
to
I'm
say
sure.
as well.
Oh my God, of course.
almost-
She was unleashed.
Meaning those listening, we're rolling our eyes because it's LVP who probably...
When Camille stormed off
few
stage,
points.
it wasn't to be dramatic. She forgot her line. She had to go read it.
She had to check the postcards, the little cards.
Like, you know, let me make it extra on the way out.
I mean, I've really given this show a lot of thought. And I said last night, I did a panel over at AfterBuzz TV, and I said that, and I still believe that this show is creatively dead. I mean, I just don't know what more they can do with this current group of people, unless if it's just purely about lifestyle. Unless if we're just watching people fly around and drink out of a straw. That's all I can think of. But, you know, much like Teddy, I will say, you know, the departure was the best part for me. The end of this season was the end.
Wow. You are now quoting Teddy?
Oh my, right.
Like, this
The
is
departure might have been the best part, but it was because of Kyle and Rinna's fashion at the reunion. Okay.
It was. Oh my, that green, that
died.
pop.
I died.
And then Kyle's hair. Kyle's everything. Oh, I just love her.
I want to talk about ratings because, yes, I mean, obviously, look, I'm calling for the cancellation of the show. I'm like, you know, it's not going to happen. They're not going to cancel this show. It's the second highest rated Housewives after Atlanta. I mean, I'm half kidding as I usually am, but I mean, it's creatively dead. I mean, they got to figure something out or just pull the plug. And I really mean it. The show has seen better days with ratings. It's not season 2. We know this, but it's not terrible. They didn't crack 2 million live, but that's not a big deal in cable in the way ratings are now.
Yeah.
Camille Grammer did put out this post on Instagram. Did you all see this? Did you see this post of hers? She said that I showed up and I brought it, and the finale
saw
had
that.
big numbers, which did well. She's taking all the credit for it, as she should.
As she, honestly, truly.
So the show did 1.4 million, 18 to 49. That's that demo was up 8% versus the prior week's episode. That's pretty good. And then total households, it got a 2.9, which is good. And that's up 9% for that episode. So good for that. Good for her and good for the show. I mean, look, no one's going to look at this show the way I'm viewing it because they're just looking at numbers and they're going to say, hey, the viewers are still here. Lisa Vanderpump didn't take 1 million viewers with her despite what she would probably think she would do.
I think there's clearly there's a disconnect. And I think that the reunion was the best. Like, this final episode was the best episode of the entire season, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, because it was raw. It was genuine. It was honest. The lawsuits finally got brought up. That scene where Dorit's running away from that woman who's like, that's what we need.
Finally we got that footage.
Yes.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
We need authenticity.
Because it was real.
Yes. And it goes back to like what Grant and I have talked about before. The viewers, we can sense when things are artificial.
Exactly.
And we are not down for that.
Exactly.
We want to hear about the nitty gritty, even in Beverly Hills.
Totally.
We want to see
especially
that.
in Beverly Hills, I would
Especially.
argue. Especially, I would care more about like their stuff because it's like most of them already came in as public personas. So it's like, of course you want to hear the real more than you would probably about like Dallas or whatever. Even though I love Dallas, and I'm not saying anything bad about that. But I did an episode last week about like digging into the real legal drama that's going on that they brought up at the reunion, like Dorit's real shit and Denise's real shit. Like, there's a reason that Camille has a thing with Denise. Like, there's all this.
Is there a reason?
Yes.
A real reason why?
Let's just say this. They both lived in that Malibu Palisades West Valley community, and they were both married to professional actors, and it's a very small circle. And I've been told that there's things that Camille knows that aren't even really secrets about Denise that, I mean, you can Google them. Like, so I don't know. But I think that's just the thing. Like, Denise being inauthentic. And it's like everyone knows that she has an alcohol problem and a substance abuse problem. And so don't like that. Sorry, I get really annoyed about Beverly Hills because I'm like, you people are so.
Allegedly.
Yeah, nobody knows that for a fact.
Wait,
but,
I didn't even know. I'm up here. I'm up. I know these things, and I didn't even know that.
But that's I think the biggest thing. They're not being real.
Wow.
And I don't get why, like, Luann has to, they literally showed court footage of Luann on New York.
Right.
She has to go through that.
Good
But
point.
then, these guys, the second, like, a lawsuit or court case is brought up, they're like, oh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, Luann talked about going to
Swept it
jail.
under the
Come
rug,
on.
Yeah.
I personally don't really care to see it all play out. Personally, I can 100% though get behind the argument of it's like, stop being out here when we're reading all these stories and then on camera you're doing something
right,
different. I totally get that.
Here's what I think. They're supposed to be revealing their lives and things. That scene that we saw of the person chasing Dorit at the beach, that happened in her real life. That happened with cameras there. There's no excuse for that not to make the show, because they could have still had a sit-down conversation where someone could have been really fake and phony and said, Dorit, are you all right? Is everything okay at home? Is everything okay with Pete? And she, of course, would say, yeah, no, everything's great. I have plenty of money and I can buy as many dresses as I want. And it would be a bunch of BS. But at least like acknowledge what's happening in their life. It doesn't need to be a whole storyline, but I wouldn't mind if they touched upon it maybe once, maybe twice, and then pick up at the reunion. But if that's what's really going on, it's just, I don't know. This season was so disjointed. I'm so disappointed and just the lack of everything.
I think it's a lot of like it's the producing that's going into it. I really don't blame the cast that much, because who knows that they didn't film scenes of Kyle being like, Dorit, what's up? What's up? You know, what's good? Or that they didn't film a scene where, other these people were like, did you see that actual report? I'm reading this right now about Camille. Like, we didn't get any of that, but who knows? Yeah. Obviously, they haven't made the best choices this season. I just think that, like you said, it's disjointed. It was like we'd get a little bit of something and then it would vanish. Like, Brandy popped in, episode, like...
Yeah, that was so
and
random.
then she was just out. And like, but they used basically her entire drink sesh with Denise as like promo for the season, you know? And it was like, we saw her for literally like 4.5 minutes, maybe.
And same with Kim. I thought Kim was going to have like an arc. But she was there for
I was ready for Kim versus Denise based off that trailer that we got. I thought that was going to be a big thing.
I was like, please, bring it on.
So I just think that the producers aren't using what is there to actually put a story together. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of, these people want to watch their lives, whatever, da-da-da. No, it's like you still have to, you got to do a little piecing together.
I agree. Speaking of producers, I have advice for them. And we're going to be looking at some casting, who should go, who probably will go.
I got a list, girl.
And so let's get into it in a moment. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to just collect myself. And then we're going to come back. That and more in a moment. Now this.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back on the panel talking about the plan to save RHOBH with Christian, Alessandra, and Jess. And let's get right into it, because there's a lot to discuss when it comes to casting. I would like to see a whole new reset. I would like everyone to go away. I don't think anyone's earned their spot.
That would be like...
Not even Camille?
Oh my! Not even Erica Jane.
I just want the show to be reset. I think
Erica.
Oh, I love Erica.
Oh, I'm done with Erica.
Guys,
she's boring.
I think it needs. We're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. Don't worry. I just think I want to see a reset, because I said the show's creatively dead. Like, I'm tired of more of the same. But I know those listening, like, Grant, never gonna happen. I know it's not gonna happen. So this is why we're here to discuss who. It's like who will win, who should win. This is like who will
it's
go,
like Survivor.
who should go.
It's gonna continue.
Yeah. So I mean, rationally, if I really to look at this realistically, I think they're only going to eliminate Teddy. And I think the rest are going to be the same. And that's very disappointing. But what would be even more disappointing is giving Teddy another contract.
Yeah.
So let's talk about one at a time. I think I'm going to start off with who I think is the safest, and that's Kyle. Does anyone disagree?
No, Kyle is
She's not going anywhere.
Kyle is the queen Kyle.
Honestly, that moment at the reunion was like, it was a religious moment for me. Yes. Queen/Jesus Kyle. I'm here for it.
And Vanderpump made some tweet about it, but didn't she capitalize off of that title for years? And
that was her tagline one year. She was like the crown bubble or something.
I'm already coming up with taglines based off of that for Kyle next season.
The crown is heavy, darling, so just leave it where it is.
Yes, that's where it was.
You left it on the shelf because
and it's been on Kyle's head this
job.
entire time.
Wow.
Nice. So Kyle, so no one really takes umbrage with Kyle.
No, I mean, Kyle's phenomenal. And I think that Kyle also just, if you see the transformation of Kyle season 1 and season 2, I remember just being like, I liked Kyle because I like all of them, but I was like, but now I'm like, Kyle is this warm, loving, motherly, but she still will call people out, and she is just so strong, and I adore
her. I love her because she's fun.
She
has a good time.
Yeah. Jess, thoughts on Kyle?
You don't like Kyle. You have personal.
I have personal issues.
Oh,
I'll plead the fifth on this
okay.
one.
My family back home is sick of Kyle because they're tired of watching her drink out of a straw on vacation, and they're tired of her going to parties all the time. Like, I'm so sick of that Kyle. That's all she does, and it is kind of true. Like, that's all she does is go to lunch. But I mean,
Oh my! And like the white party. Like,
Oh my God. We didn't have the white party this year, did we?
We didn't, but we had dogs.
it was the Halloween.
Oh yeah, it was the
Farroween.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so Kyle, I think you've got the group stand over. This might be the only thing we agree on. So, all right.
I think she has to stay because she's like, you need some of those OGs there.
Yeah.
She has to stay. If anything, she was bred as an actress. She kind of knows how to keep it going. And I don't think she's super, super polarizing.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
agree.
So I think she
learned how to not be polarizing because she
True,
was
true.
in the beginning.
True.
And I think she's that one kind of like, it's like, even if you don't personally love her, it's like, you have to have her. Like, it just wouldn't be right. You know?
Yeah, I don't
Exactly.
mind her. She's the least of their problems.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
mean,
yeah.
like, I get it. Another person I think is really safe just because it was only her first season is Denise.
Oh, 100%.
But
Yeah.
I don't love her on the show.
I know they love Denise.
Oh, I love Denise.
Oh, you do?
The moment she told her daughter that she didn't give a damn if she walked down the aisle in dirty white tennis shoes, I was like, I'm here for it.
Oh, God.
Here for it. Yep.
I agree with Camille. She said, well, Denise was kind of womp this season.
Oh my God, Camille.
I think
Thank you for being the voice of Grant, Camille. Thank you.
I kind of feel like producers
In that moment.
let her have a warm, fun, get me settled type of moment.
That's
and I
true.
think because she doesn't necessarily have to do this. And
Easy
I think
start.
that if her first season was a complete hellhole,
I'm sure her
she would have
contract-
been like
yeah.
deuces, but I
Yeah.
think they're letting her have fun. I think they're letting her get a little bit comfortable. She's making some connections with the cast, and I think that either year or two or three, probably year two
Right.
next season, it's going to be a little bit rougher for her. So I think we'll get more of her.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine they've given her a contract with options for other seasons. So
For
I'm
sure.
sure she's
I'm
not going
sure.
anywhere.
She's probably on a 3-year.
But they need to figure out something else other than talking about Charlie Sheen's divorce from like 14 years ago because
Again,
that is
that's
not
producers,
working.
though. It's
That
like,
is
stop
not
asking, stop
working.
talking about it.
And they asked last night on What Happens Live, are we going to see Charlie next season? I don't want to.
No
I
one
don't
cares
want
Oh,
about
I didn't
Charlie.
see that.
Yeah, no
Oh
one
my
wants
We
to
don't
see.
care
He
about
doesn't
Charlie.
look good. You don't even want to see him.
If I saw Charlie in the WeHo Pavilions, I would keep walking.
Yeah, me too.
And there's a lot of people I
You would
wouldn't
like
keep
stay
walking
within
for.
a 5-foot
Yeah.
radius.
Like I saw Faye Resnick in that pavilion. And I stopped dead in my tracks. Okay, for that, I
The
would
morally
keep
corrupt.
corrupt Faye.
I, like,
I'm
broke out in a
surprised she.
sweat. I almost
Let's get Faye on
Surprised she left
Housewives.
Brentwood. Jesus.
Faye will,
Surprised she was on this side of
The WeHo
405.
Pavilion.
Faye will forever be auditioning for that spot.
Oh my God.
I would love for Faye to be a housewife,
Oh
but I
my
don't
God,
think she
yeah.
ever
But,
will.
that time, that ship has sailed, unfortunately.
Jess,
but-
I feel like we have similar vibes about Denise, though.
I am a little not annoyed. I can't be annoyed, but with other people's opinions because they're their opinions and that's just what they are. But a lot of people I feel like they're like, oh, she's so down to earth and she's this. I'm like, you guys, she's a professionally trained actress. She knows what she's doing. Beverly Hills Housewives. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, okay? And I think that, this season was maybe they gave her like an easy slide in because she has had some weird, not weird, but crazy stuff in the news in her past. But I think next year is going to be her bitch flower year. I think her
love
bitch
that
flower is
term.
going to bloom. And I think that she's really going to go after it. I think that she needs to start getting her filler and Botox at an accredited dermatologist, not someone in the West Valley. And she needs to.
I got her wheezing over here, girl. That was a wheeze right there.
Sorry.
The West Valley.
No, the West Valley is a lovely place to live. I just think that maybe.
Not get Botox.
Yeah, just maybe like
not
go to
get
like
your
an accredited derm, like maybe in Century City. I don't know, but I think that
She's
like
making plenty of money on this show. She can go to any doctor
yeah,
she
she
wants.
needs to take it up a step. And I don't find her husband interesting. I think that he's like a seedy dude that is a cougar hunter and just going from
I have a
girl
question.
to girl.
If she wasn't Denise Richards, would we want to give her another season?
No.
Probably not.
No, No, but I will say I did very much warm to her because in the very beginning when they announced that Denise Richards was going to be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I was very against it because I just never felt like connected to her. I just never really liked her. But then as I watched, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, not like, oh my God, she's just like me, but more just, I thought it was funny because she was this, she's this outsider, but she's actually the most, she's
a little
very
more attainable.
But she's also like super insider, but also outsider. And I don't know. I like her personality. I like when she snapped. I loved that. I like those moments.
Well, and she did have a genuine connection. You know, she and Lisa Rinna are genuinely friends. And that I think is important in casting.
When I first heard of her being cast, I was like, oh no, please don't tear her and Rinna up. Like, I just do not want that.
I said it on this show. I warned people. I said, you know what? I'm hearing nothing. We always hear, like, with New Jersey, for example, like, oh, Jennifer Aydin's doing a bunch of stuff this season. It's going to be good. It was a physical fight. It's going to be good. I heard nothing around.
Oh, New Jersey.
I know. I'm only in Jersey. But I mean, I heard nothing exciting coming out of Beverly Hills that teased Denise. So I said, what? She's going to be collecting a big paycheck and sitting around for her first season. And unfortunately, that's what we got. I think I'm just I just think too much about these things. Maybe it just was a fluke and I happen to be right, but I just didn't have a good feeling from the start. I really don't care if she comes or goes, but I do expect to see her again.
Yes.
She'll be back.
And now I want to move on to like kind of another category of safe, but I also wouldn't mind letting go Lisa Rinna.
Oh, you wouldn't mind letting go Lisa Rinna.
Rinna is Beverly Hills to me.
Rinna is Beverly Hills.
I could watch Rinna sit in her closet that needs reorganizing desperately for days.
Like with her dog, with her her big black lab.
She hasn't delivered for me.
Oh my gosh. She has Harry Hamlin.
She hasn't
Hamlin.
She hasn't delivered for me in like the last 2 seasons.
Because she's playing the game, I think. She's playing
She knows how to play her job, honey.
I know, but I don't enjoy her anymore. Like, I really don't enjoy her. I didn't enjoy her at all at the reunion. I don't care for her.
I liked her kind of holding people accountable, but in a very calm way this year. Like, she was just like,
she was more zen this year.
Let's be honest. Like, you did say this. Like, why would,
And she owns up to her
everything.
That's the thing. Owns it. At the reunion or even before that, she'd be like, yeah, I did that.
If you can't take accountability, you can't move on. And so she is great at that.
Yes.
She's always...
She takes about accountability. And
I just don't care about her life. I'm not interested in her.
Even with the daughters?
Yeah,
I just think it's so fascinating.
I don't even care, but if she had something interesting going on in her life, I just like, maybe, listen, I love Lisa Rinna because one, for the opposite reason that I dislike Kyle, if that makes sense. No, she is one of the nicest freaking people. She's a professional. She never dismisses anyone. She will say hi to you if you're the dude that brings out the dry cleaning or if you're in the market. And
but is she good for the housewives? I mean,
she's entertaining.
I don't know.
And she will flip on somebody and she can get dirty
I think her ship is
That's the thing. She will get dirty. You just got to push her to that point.
You need a button pusher. That's what we're missing.
She's too
We have Camille, thank God, but we need another button pusher.
I think Rinna is too comfortable on the show. I think she's just sailing through and treating it like a gig. I'm not interested.
Also, she hasn't really been the target of anything specific in a way. Like this year, the most thing that she was like, why would you do that in the whole Erica costume where it's like no one even cared about that.
Nobody cared about that.
That wasn't the only person that cared about that was Betty.
I mean, the fact that we're still coasting on the fumes of the bunny incident is insulting, and it's really time to like. I'm not interested.
Or does that make her iconic?
She just followed me on Twitter last week, so I'll be sure to send her the link to this podcast and tell her that we love her.
We love Lisa. We love you.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Hey, that's fine.
If I see her at Soul Cycle,
I'll add that to an extra listen of the podcast. No problem. Now we're going to go into the center category, the maybe category, but I enjoy Dorit Kemsley.
Oh, Dorit is iconic in my opinion. Sorry.
She's the worst, but she's the best.
Yes.
Those paper clips.
She's in the category of love to hate.
Yes.
Totally. See, I've never hated her.
From
episode
Dorit.
1, her first season, I was like, she's ridiculous. I can't stand PK, but I love the fashion.
Oh,
Sign
don't
me
get
up.
me started with that PK.
Day one.
Oh,
but even
let's talk about the husband.
But I think
Let's
also
talk about
as
the
a housewife, she
husband.
does not back down from anything.
Yeah.
Any situation.
Yeah, but
I
she
don't
won't
care
admit to anything, though.
The others at the top of the list and at the bottom of the list, like I believe they really treat this like a gig, but Dorit, and I've said this so many times, treats this show because she needs this show so badly to be relevant.
She needs this show.
She needs the show.
Wait, where did Dorit come from?
Connecticut.
But like, where?
No, she came
goes?
from Miami, and she had a Long Island accent, and she wore her hair in a chip clip.
And then who? She was friends with Lisa Vanderpump, but
That was how they
Through
tried to
PK.
introduce
yeah,
it,
her and
but-
PK were friends for years, and then
Yeah. I enjoy her on the show because she represents to me what other cities have. Those people on the come up. They want everyone to think they've got everything. We haven't seen the Rose Gold Bentley. The house apparently
where is it?
rented.
Where's the Rose Gold Bentley?
Yeah,
It's at
like-
Platinum Rental Car on Garden Way.
exactly
That's where it is.
So that's the thing. It's like she's trying so hard and she needs the show so badly. I'm kind of curious to see what the story goes. I want to see more of Dorit. I do. I'm just going to say it.
There is zero chance that they are going to get rid of her.
No,
Especially what
hell
came
no.
out today.
Of
She
course.
has to be in court like September 4th or she could be arrested.
I'm so
I said
sorry.
that on my podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you know who would make
Spoiler.
a great friend of? Erica Jane.
Oh no!
Really?
Stop, Grant. I love
yes.
Erica.
That's on my list over
She's
here.
an easy
Yes.
cut. She's an easy cut. She's still showed nothing about her personal life. She's got nothing going on that we're seeing.
We did not even film in her house this season, did we? Like barely.
I
Barely.
think the first episode. I think
Oh,
that
you're right.
was
Yeah, the
it.
first
She
episode when
literally
Dorit
doesn't
came
even
over.
film at home. Also, she
Yeah.
films in that office, which is off Hollywood Boulevard, and I think she does that because her and you know who don't really see each other ever.
Oh, Tom.
She doesn't look like she wants to be there. She doesn't want.
No,
she,
she's
she's-
You talk
disinterested.
about collecting
She
a
doesn't.
check.
Yeah,
She's
she doesn't have
somebody
any
collecting a
interest in
check.
even in joining the conversation. Of course, we know these scenes are edited, but I can't imagine that they would cut her out of them. So she's another one who it's time to go. We've told her story.
No,
I've never
but
thought
you
that-
guys,
I've never
you
felt
guys,
this excited.
when Erica loses it, Erica loses
Yes,
That's,
Ew.
has that happened? How many times?
It
in how many
didn't
years?
happen though this season because no one was. They tried to poke her a little bit. I think there's more. Erica Jane is just. I mean, Erica Girardi, Erica Jane. I adore her. I just think that she needs someone. She needs a better. She needs someone that's going to poke at her a little bit and not Teddy, not Kyle, because she actually has a good relationship with Kyle. Teddy is not a good
Well,
opponent.
anyone can destroy Teddy. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh
like-
my
it's
gosh,
like-
Teddy. It's just like what's going
hello.
on. But I need Erica Jane on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Okay,
So
I
I
respect that.
personally, if you guys wouldn't mind, if we could just
for you,
just
we'll
for
do.
me, you know, just for me.
Can we negotiate on like a friend of or no?
No, I can't. Have
I would do
friend of.
I would do
Oh,
a friend
no.
up with her because
Yeah.
I think she's lovely. Probably I've never met her, but I think she's probably lovely in real life. But I think she maybe is probably too like. You're nodding at that. Do you have an
Closed
experience you'd like to share? I don't know. I think that she's just too blocked off and reserved. And I think you're right.
She
Like,
seems sedated half the time. Like she's
I mean,
very
maybe
chill.
maybe she's
Yeah.
on a
Just
mood
very, like,
stabilizer.
chill,
We don't
you
know.
know, like nothing.
I'm not interested in
But I would go for friend of, like maybe next season they go to see one of her shows and she
Yeah.
appears and whatever. Like
Sure.
that's great.
Yeah.
This is I think she would be a great friend of. I think as far as budgeting goes, she's not worth what she's being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, she needs to be axed because they have
That's
to bring
true.
in somebody major next
Yeah.
year, and they're going to need to use the room in the budget that LVP's salary left and another main contender, which would only be Erica. So they're going to have to combine that to pull in somebody like
Yeah.
Denise.
Well, I mean, hopefully there's room in the budget for getting rid of Teddy because I think she needs to be let go
100%.
immediately.
I think
How
was
much
this
could she
Teddy's
even be making?
second or third season?
Second.
This was her second?
Yeah.
Couldn't be less interested in her. I couldn't care less about who her father is or the last name that she has. I'm not interested in the husband. I don't care about anything she has to say or do. She has tanked this show for me. She actually makes me angry, like LVP angry, and I'm ready for her to go. She should have never gotten past the meeting process of this show. I don't understand why she's on the show. I never got it. And to me, it's like she brought this whole show down.
Wow.
Well, she interjects herself into every situation
does.
without being dramatic enough to be there. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm
There's
here,
no
but I'm not
presence.
bringing anything.
No presence.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm here,
exactly.
but I'm not elevating the situation. I'm not
Right,
adding
right.
anything to the production value
Well,
of this
and
episode.
she basically like discredited her entire persona by being like, "I'm accountable. I
Thank
take
you.
accountability." Blah blah. No, you
100%,
don't. You
100%.
in the reunion. Hello, I was listening to Ben and Ronnie earlier, and Ronnie was like, "You literally just didn't take accountability for what you just said. Like you just said one thing, and then you just said another thing. Like
She's ruined her brand. She's
accountability.
ruined her brand, and now she's known as a liar.
Exactly.
I know, she better go ahead and take that. You know how that somebody wanted to buy her out? I'm like, girl, you should have took that before they saw this
Seriously.
episode. Because
I don't think her I actually did, not to brag, but I did all in with Teddy in October.
You did? How was it?
I'll tell you later. I know.
That's expensive.
I know, but don't tell my husband. I told him it was only $200.
Okay, that's a lie. A big lie.
But now, so I still get like the emails and the notices or whatever, and she's having some retreat in Laguna, and it was like $1,800. But then I got an email a couple of days ago that was like, news flash, like sale on the retreat if you're so interested, and it was like now only like $600 or something. I was like, whoa.
Unless there's a meet and greet with Kyle, I'm not going.
Wait, you guys, I'm so sorry. I feel bad because I actually like Teddy. Like,
would it help if I told you?
Girl, Erica, now Teddy.
No. I don't hate Teddy. And actually, I met Teddy, and she was
nice to you?
So kind and so sweet.
What other option does she have?
It doesn't make her. It doesn't matter.
Wait, I have a question. Was there a camera involved, like an iPhone or whatever?
There was no. Well, there was. It was right next. It was right in front of my office. I was walking into my office, and Teddy was there.
I'm sure she's nice, and she gives to charity, and she says a prayer at night. But she's not good for the show.
It's time to go. I agree. It's time to go.
She's just not good for the show.
But you know what? I'd go on that retreat. It's only $600. I might go.
Who's going?
Why not? I'll go. I'll report back.
Report back on how hungry you are to get back because she starves everybody in her program.
No.
You're going to be like ordering room service at 2 a.m. Like, can I get a burger and fries and like a milkshake in here?
And be very secretive bringing it up here.
Do not ring the bell.
I'm going to go through some advice here that I have for producers, and I really did sit down and think about this. My first thing is don't go looking for other actresses or has-been actors or personalities at this point. We've done it. I don't really think it works. Just because someone has a famous last name isn't really that much of a draw. It will get you press for like a week, and then we have to sit through it for 23 weeks. So let's not do that.
Literally.
It's been 6 months, guys.
This show's been on since February.
When you said it aired in February, I was like, what?
I know. I thought it started in March or like April.
It's been awful, and it's actually like really like it's really got me angry, and I'm really surprised like how this show really like shakes me. I really am surprised.
I know, Grant, you were triggered by it.
I am.
Hashtag triggered.
I really am.
Have you talked about this in
I feel
therapy?
it though. I get it.
I am going to a meditation, so everything will be okay. My second bit of advice is highly consider Brandy. She is a fan favorite. LVP willingly quit, so let's showbiz. Mm-hmm. Just, you don't have to do it, but consider it.
Disagree.
And let's support a woman who needs income. How about that?
Seriously.
Sure.
She's needing
Number 3, take the temperature of Kathy Hilton. I just want to see what this would add a new sister dynamic to the show. Also, she's in all those circles of those A-list people. I follow her and the husband on Instagram. They're always traveling. They're real deal, real money, no rented homes.
Yes, no more rented homes.
Well, we have Denise now.
I know.
She's in a rental in Brentwood.
And it was mentioned on the reunion that I believe, right, that Kathy went over to LVP's house and joked with Ken about the Goodbye Kyle stuff. So she's connected with Lisa Vanderpump too. So I think like if they're going to really have to fill these great shoes of Lisa Vanderpump, someone who has more money and more clout is Kathy Hilton. Mm-hmm. And remember that wonderful show on NBC, I Want to Be a Hilton? Remember that reality show?
No.
I don't remember that one. But does anyone remember that? Oh, sorry.
It's time for her to come on the show, I think.
Yeah.
They've got the money.
Yeah, we need real money. That's what
the problem is, I think, because I was talking to someone this woman I know who she shares the same monogrammer as LVP, but she has legit like f*** you money. And I asked her, I was like, she's like, oh yeah, I know everyone says that, but she would never go on because she has real money, and her ex-husband he doesn't want anything dragged out. Yep. So I think it's hard because it's like the people that actually have legit wealth, they don't want to be on it.
To them. They don't need it.
Well, they don't need the money, and they don't. It's beneath.
I'm okay with new money. I'm okay. We don't need old money. I'm okay with new money.
Yeah.
I love new money.
Yeah.
You know, I could do a new money.
There you go.
Yeah, I could do new money.
Why not?
Or just get someone like broke, like Kim Richards. Who cares? Like,
we love a come up.
I love Kim.
We love a
They hired Bethany when she had $6 in her bank account. Look at her now. Now she's got 6 houses.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Another bit of advice, hire someone they don't have to be a friend and a best friend to these people. Maybe hire someone who has a feud. Not everything, they have to maintain all these relationships. Mm-hmm. Who did Lisa Rinna Byrne on the set of Days of Our Lives that they could pull on? You know what I mean? Like, there's someone that they could pull on that is a foe of one of the housewives that can connect with somebody else. Not everybody has to get along. It's all so kumbaya right now, and there's really no show when that happens. You know, they don't have to claw their eyes out like Beverly. I mean, like New Jersey. But I mean, you know,
we're going to disagree a little bit every once in a while. Yeah.
And then the last bit of advice I have is, don't concentrate so heavily on the past and worried about getting in Kim and all these things.
Yes.
This show needs a new direction.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be canceled, but it needs a complete reset.
Yes.
And, you know, if we want to bump into old housewives like Eileen and Erica, maybe an old housewife, you know, like I'm trying to think of these people that we could see. Come to a lunch. Maybe you can come to a picture.
Yeah.
But like,
have Farroween.
Yeah, but I think there's got to be a push in a new direction creatively. And that's kind of the whole reason why I'm here to talk about this today.
Yeah.
So, that's what I need. I need new energy, new casting. Put the show on the shelf. Let's not go into production in August, September, October. Let's sit and really analyze what we can do here. I know it's a highly rated show and they want to get it back on air real quick, but you know, you're burning people out and there's a lot of negative press, publicity, and tweets around the show.
Yeah, there have been. This is the most negative season that I've ever experienced because it made me question if I was enjoying myself. And that's
you're like, what's happening right now?
I'm like, why am I
I've
not?
never experienced this before.
What is this?
So final thoughts, kids. Final thoughts on what can happen, the plan to save Beverly Hills.
Well, I have a question. This past season, didn't they have a whole new production? Like, weren't there all new producers this season?
That was the word on the street.
Yeah.
Because I thought the big thing was like, oh, there's new producers. It's good. I think maybe like, don't mess with what works. Maybe go back to the original team or maybe try and get people from season one, or I don't know, they probably never do this because it's a different production company, but get the New York producers or something.
Different production company.
Well, they do rotate producers around, like
Yes,
story
they do.
producers. Whoever did this season should not return.
Yeah, for sure.
Christian, final thoughts.
Final thoughts, really quick. Fire Erica, fire Teddy. Keep Kyle, keep Dorit, keep Rinna, keep Denise, and promote Camille to full-time.
Hell yes.
Then we're going to hire Brandy full-time as well. Kim Richards needs to be a friend of Housewife and use the room in the budget from LVP, Erica, Teddy being cut to bring in another major cast member like Denise, but someone that's even like more exciting and probably a little bit more scandalous or dramatic. That leaves us with Queen Kyle, Dorit, Rinna, Denise, Camille, Brandy, Anubi, and Kim Richards as friend of Housewife. I would also suggest a really exciting cast trip somewhere that no other city's ever been, maybe like Australia. Yeah.
Wait, who in your dream world would that star player be?
I have begged. I know a girl who has cast several people for Beverly Hills and OC, and I would everyone. This is not a new thing, and a lot of people are going to disagree. But I think that Tori Spelling is desperate, and I think she's messy, and I think she's stepping back into the spotlight
She
now
is
with the
Beverly
90210,
Hills.
and she's working with Denise.
Yes,
on the
and
new
she's working with
90210.
Denise.
It's a very natural introduction.
Yep.
And I think that she is someone when her buttons are pushed, she's going to fly off the handle.
Oh, hell
And I think
yes.
that's the move we need.
She's
And
so
she needs
Benny
the
Hanna.
money. She
Yes,
needs the
she
money.
does need that
And
money.
both her and Dorit both own City National Bank money.
Yes, they do. They do. And she probably
we have that in common.
She probably will take a lower rate. So
hell
Evolution,
yeah.
send that money back to OC and bring Vicky back to full time.
Oh my gosh.
I love that. And then maybe we could
storytelling.
have like
Right in.
Candy
Right in
as
there.
a
I know what y'all
friend
did with that
of.
budget. Y'all gave it to Denise. That's why Vicky got demoted. Come at me.
Final thoughts, Alessandra.
Oh, I mean, I just enjoy, it's like wine. I love all wine, and Beverly Hills,
I
it
love
just makes
you.
me so happy. I just, and also, maybe in a few years, once I do get married, I would put my name in the ring.
I will get you out there, girl. I'll do everything for that.
Right. Like
Yes.
they could use a matchmaker, so I'm ready when my time comes, when we need a shakeup, I'm willing to step up to the plate.
That's
and
beautiful.
So
You
Thank
live
you for
like 10
volunteering
minutes from
yourself.
Kyle, maybe less.
maybe
Throwing that
less.
out there.
Maybe less. And it is
you
what
go.
it is.
Wow. You're safe. You're very diplomatic. Me, I mean, I'm never
I know
talk
you're
to me
like
again.
Pollyanna of the group.
I know. I wish you could be a housewife, Grant. Like, let's get you on.
I would love to be
let's
at an
do
ensemble
that.
show. I
Right.
would love
Oh
to
my
be at an
gosh.
ensemble show.
Oh, yes.
That would be amazing.
So anyway, kids, if you want to support or follow any of the people on this panel, where can we find you, Jess? You've got a podcast. People can check it out.
I do. I've been
We've
shamelessly
heard it.
promoting
We've
this
heard
whole time. No, my podcast is The Real Housewife of the West Side. It's everywhere you can find Grant's podcast.
Beautiful.
And I do have opinions. So, yeah.
Love it, Christian.
Love it. I too have opinions and lots of very shady memes on my Instagram. The handle is my full name, Christian Gray Snow. So come follow me and let's be gay and laugh at memes together.
It's worth following.
Thanks. I love that.
So good. I just followed you. So you can follow me at Matchmaker, Alessandra Conti. I know it's so long, and you can learn more about Matchmakers in the City, my matchmaking firm, at matchmakersinthecity.com.
Beautiful. Thank
Love
you
that.
guys so much.
Yay.
All right, Beverly Hills, see you season 10? Question mark?
Oh, season 10 exclamation point, Grant.
This has been Grant's Rants Small Talk. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk podcast on Apple Podcasts and in the links below.